Welcome to another week's edition of Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio right here on AM 920 The Answer. In this first segment of the show, we have the Metro Atlanta residential real estate update for the last 7 days. And our Something You Should Know About Atlanta segment, believe it or not, the home that was featured in Stranger Things has now been sold. And I got some facts for you on that. I didn't even know it was here in Atlanta. And we want to talk about replacing fear with confidence when it comes to buying your first home, because I'm going to be honest with you, when I bought my first home in 1992, I was scared. I was overwhelmed. I wasn't even sure I was qualified, meaning I knew I could pay the mortgage, but I figured if people knew me any better, the people who loaned me the money wouldn't have loaned me the money. So buying your first home can be really overwhelming, and we want to address that. I also want to welcome you to a milestone for Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. This is show 500 for us in this particular format. We started doing shows 500 shows ago. Alfie Romero, who many of you might remember from 640 WGST and the NASCAR show that is done, has been my technical producer for 500 shows. And Ann Daniels, who has helped me write the shows, not all 500 of them, but a lot of them. We started this journey together, and we are 500 shows into it, 500 shows of news and stories and real talk. And I just want to sincerely thank you for being part of that journey. And hopefully this show will be a good one, maybe an unforgettable one. Again, I am Cleve Gaddis. On this show, our mission is really simple. It's to help you go from real estate novice to expert, so home buying and selling can be done with total confidence and without all the worry and fear and confusion and second guessing that often comes with life's biggest investments. This isn't just about real estate. It's about making smarter decisions for you, for your family, and your future. If you got a question or a comment or even a challenge, we want to hear from you. It's easy. Go to gogaddisradio.com, GOGADDIS radio.com. And while you're there, you can push back or challenge things we say. You can ask questions that we answer on air or off air. You can share ideas with us. You can request that we do some additional research on your neighborhood and feature your neighborhood in our neighborhood spotlight, where we let you know as a homeowner in the neighborhood whether or not you have an advantage when it comes to selling a home. And you can subscribe to our podcast or our YouTube channel so you never, ever miss an episode. Let's jump right into the Metro Atlanta residential real estate update for the last 7 days. We're right here at the beginning of 2026. What's happening in the market? In the last 7 days, there were 1,467 homes listed on the first multiple listing service here in Atlanta. There were 715 homes that went under contract for the week. Still very low. You'll see those numbers in February start to climb significantly. March, April, May, June, July will be some of the better months of the year. January and February tend to be the two, not, when I say slowest, they're not slow by any means, but maybe 4 or 5% of the sales for the entire year will happen in January, and then 4 or 5% in February. And when we get to June, it'll be more like 10% of the sales for the year, just to give you an idea how it flows. But 1,467 new listings, 715 homes under contract, 1,365 homes closed in the prior 7 days, meaning they were under contract, stayed under contract for 30, 45 days and closed. So the closing took place. And there were 1,426 homes with a price decrease. That's 1,426 times last week. Sellers raised their hand and said, hey, heads up over here, I might be more interested in selling my house this week than I was last week. And I think that is very, very significant. If I was a home buyer out there today, I first would want what I want in terms of a house, but I also would be looking at every single home on the multiple listing service that had a price reduction that was in my geographic area. Because think about this, if you wanted to know that you could negotiate with someone who may be more motivated to negotiate with you in good faith and to be maybe a little bit more flexible with you, I don't know that you could do a better job of finding a list of people who are more motivated to negotiate with you and be flexible than the people who have raised their hand already and reduced the price of their listing on their own. So as a home buyer, I would pay very, very specific attention to that. What opportunities do I think there are in 2026 in the market? I think a home seller who has a home that is in reasonably good condition, meaning at the average condition or above for your particular market area. That might be a subdivision or a school district or however people would search for your homes. And for people who price their homes correctly, and I don't mean cheaply, I don't mean below market, I mean price it at market. I think there's plenty of opportunities for sellers. I think the first 6 months of 2026 will provide exceptionally good opportunities for buyers. I think inventory will continue to rise. We have 3 times, gosh, that's not really true. We have 5 times more inventory right now in Metro Atlanta than we had in, let's just say, October of 2020. October of 2020, we had 2 weeks worth of inventory. Now, actually, when you think about it, now that I'm doing the math in my head, we have more like 8 times as much inventory because we have about 4 months worth of inventory on average in Metro Atlanta. So I think there's just great opportunities. Do I think interest rates are going to continue to ease and come down? I think the answer to that question is yes. How much? I don't think they're going to come down as much as I would like. I'd love for them to drop 2 points. And the cynic inside of me says, yeah, but if they drop 2 points, we would swing all the way back to the other end of the pendulum. We'd have a severe seller's market, and I don't think that we actually want that to happen again. I think what we want is for the market to stay a little bit more balanced. We want sellers to get a good price for their house. We want buyers to get a good opportunity when they buy, and I think that's sort of the end of the story. Let's move on to another subject, and here's something you should know about Metro Atlanta. The Stranger Things Wheeler House sells here in Metro Atlanta. Stranger Things this is from, by the way, Atlanta Agent Magazine, November the 18th, 2025. I don't know if you're a Stranger Things binger. I am not. I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Stranger Things, but I have 4 daughters who sure did. For 5 seasons, a home in Atlanta stole the spotlight on the Netflix hit Stranger Things. And now this iconic slice of 80s style suburbia has a new chapter. It's been sold to 2 devoted fans just in time for the show's final season. Known on screen as the Wheeler family's house in Hawkins, Indiana, 2530 Piney Woods Lane, is actually nestled on 2 acres at the end of a cul-de-sac in Atlanta's East Point suburb, so down by the airport. While only the exterior appeared on the show, inside the home is a retro treasure trove, wood paneling, built-in bookshelves, a brick fireplace, an eat-in kitchen perfect for enjoying Eggos. According to Atlanta Fine Home Sotheby's agent, this quincentennial, I don't say that word very often, 80s time capsule offers plenty of room to roam and an incredible restoration opportunity to turn some upside down elements right side up again. The Wheeler House didn't stay on the market long. After just 2 weeks, Homes.com reports 2 superfans purchased the property from Netflix for $365,000, which was $15,000 over the $350,000 asking price. Now, as for the final season of Stranger Things, who knows what twists await? One thing is certain, though, these new owners will be running up that hill to their nostalgic new home for years to come. I'm going to have to take a look at that house because I'm assuming it is up on a hill. I'm just, unfortunately, a little bit ignorant to what happened on the show, but I think that's really exciting. I love it that we have so many movies and television shows that are shot here in Metro Atlanta, although I think there could be some pressure on the movie and TV industry in Georgia because I think there are other states offering tremendous tax incentives as well. This first segment of the show is brought to you by the law firm of O'Kelly and Sorahan. They're a full-service law firm with 30 offices throughout Metro Atlanta. They specialize in residential real estate closings, including home purchases, refinance closings, corporate relocation, and real estate contract review and title insurance matters. They can be reached by calling 770-497-1880. One more time, 770-497-1880. Also, if you're thinking about selling your home anytime in 2026, right here in Metro Atlanta, anywhere, north, south, east, or west, it doesn't matter where you are, we want to make sure that you and your family get the upside that you deserve. We believe, or there are 4 different ways to sell a home here in Metro Atlanta. Number 1, you could do an all-cash guaranteed offer, closing 21, 30, 45 days, whatever works for you. You could sell your home as is, where is, make no improvements to it. You could make some improvements to your home and try to get the highest sales price you possibly can, or you could make arrangements to buy your new home before you sold your existing home. Which one of those is right for you? I don't know, but we can tell you, and we can tell you in black and white. Go to gogaddisradio.com, click on the upside, put in a little information. I'll connect with you myself personally and help you understand exactly how each one of those ways, or whichever ones are appropriate for your situation, may work for you, so that you can choose the upside that is unique, that is different for you and your family than it is for pretty much everybody else who owns a home in your neighborhood. I want to jump into the last topic of this particular segment. If you are nervous about buying your first home this year, honestly, you're not alone. The market feels confusing, the process feels overwhelming, and it's hard to know where to start. We received a listener question from Carla and John in Decatur. They want to know, what are the most important things a first-time home buyer should do this year? And I think first and foremost, Carla and John, you need to understand your budget, and you need to stick with your budget regardless of the desire to splurge, to spend a little bit more. When we get out and start looking at a lot of properties, sometimes we want to trade up in it. And my only second piece of advice is you need to do everything that you need to do in order to be fully educated on that particular property before you close. All of the inspections, all of the due diligence, whether you need to scope the sewer line to the street, do what you need to do in order to fully understand. It's okay to buy a house that has an issue. It's not okay to buy a house that has an issue that you do not understand. We're going to take a quick break. Carla and John, if you have any other questions, 770-497-0000 is the number. We're going to take a break. When we're back, radio silence and real estate, how to get answers and action when you don't hear from your agent. Also, your dream home, or it could be hidden headaches. A survey tells all. Stick with us. We'll be back.